Hello. Let me wait for some time. Okay, I'm back. Hello Illusion, welcome to the stream. I hope मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है. Let me check इसकी आवाज़ तो नहीं है ना. हाँ ओके वॉल्यूम मतलब म्यूज़िक ऑन नहीं है. चलो लेट्स स्टार्ट. कौन सा चैप्टर है वैसे? आजा आजा आजा. हाँ 18. ओके नेक्स्ट. कितना था? 26 आई गेस या 24 था शायद. एनवेज करते हैं अभी. Hard 9 of the heist. Okay. Berlin's voice is practically gleeful when he responds. Finally, I'll be right down. Start getting things ready for transport. As Rio began to unload the vault, I thought of the teapot still sitting outside the girl hall. Things were going to move quickly now, and I needed to do the same if I was going to make it out of La Perla with what I'd come for. You turn to Rio, possible excuses running through your mind. Okay. I'm going to head upstairs. Do you think you can handle this on your own? Rio's expression turns from surprise to suspicion. You're leaving? Why? Isn't it obvious? You should get the credit. Tired of this vault. Risky being alone with you. The team should know you're good at what you do. Rio looks as if he wants to argue, but his ego gets the best of him. I guess I can't argue with that. He smiles softly. Thanks, Rio. Rio watches as you leave, but your mind is already on the teapot. As I... एक मिनट. एक क्या इंग्लिश है भाई? As I left the vault, I knew I had to come up with a plan to get the teapot out and fast. It was supposed to be in the vault, easily carried out with the rest of the art, but things had changed. I was so focused on the task at hand that I didn't see the arm reaching towards me until it was too late. कौन है भाई? A firm grip yanks you into an enclosed alcove, and before you can cry out, a manicured hand covers your mouth. ये वो होगा. नहीं, okay, Niobe. Calm down, it's just me. Niobe grins as you spin around in her grasp. Niobe. Why are you hiding in here? Did something happen? Maybe lowers her voice. Conspiracy. No, not yet, but look. She points to small grate on the wall. Through it, you can just make out Gabriela and Sato. Their, their heads are bent in what is clearly an intense conversation. What do you think they're whispering about? I'm thinking life of Sato when with the mob related hostage situation. Nairobi laughs, but her eyes are still locked on Gabriela and Sato. Something about the way they're talking makes me nervous, like they're planning something. Adrian's escape could have been just the start of whatever they're cooking up. I hadn't considered the possibility that Adrian's escape attempt was part of a larger plan. We'd managed to stop him once, but I wasn't sure we would get so lucky a second time. I wish we could hear what they're saying. That's why I grabbed you. I thought you could do some of your cool hacker stuff and find a way for us to hear them. I see. Like what? What did you have in mind? Harvey gives you a blank look. You're the hacker, love. I assumed you would come up with something. Your gaze drifts to the wall beside them, where a small speaker is embedded near the floor. That speaker is part of the museum's intercom system. There's another one here. You point to a small panel tucked behind a column. If I reverse some of the wiring, I should be able to turn their speaker into a microphone. You can do that? I examine the speaker, considering it's worth a shot at least. Navi nods encouragingly as you get to work. Okay, let's do it. Same again. Okay, okay. I'll continue. That should do it. Suddenly, Gabriela's voice jumps to the speaker, filled with anger. You're a genius. I'm not the one going down for this, Sato. You are. You mean that pathetic attempt to frame me? That will never work. Abarca and I have an understanding. He'll clear things up the moment he speaks with the police. Even from across the room, you can see the malice in Gabriela's sneer. Do you really think these people haven't thought about that? They may look dumb, but whoever is calling the shots knows what they're doing. Adrian is going to let you take the fall for this. In fact, If I had to guess, he'll confirm it during his next check in with the police. Nairobi looks to you in surprise. Do you think that's true? Why would Abarka help us? I could think of a few possibilities and none of them were good. The only person Adrian looks out for is himself. If what Gabriela is saying is true, Berlin must have promised him something in return. Don't be stupid. Why would Adrian do anything to help these criminals? You never stopped to consider who was really behind the auctions, did you? Gabriela pauses for a moment, then drops her ears. Or for counterfeiting, or the counterfeiting? Sato freezes, and there's the slightest tremor in his voice when he replies, Surely, you aren't saying Adrian. So Abarka is the one behind the counterfeiting. He is. The upstanding politician act is just a cover. He's a crook. How much does Abarka know, Gabriela? His tone is threatening, but Gabriela is unfazed. I told him everything when he arrived. He wasn't pleased about your little blackmail scheme to take part of the profits, and he was even more upset you had poor Mr. Keller arrested so you could be here tonight. Okay. So that's what happened to Mr. Keller. Tell me, Sato, how are you feeling about that decision now? I'll expose Abarka just like I was going to expose you. I'm sure the media would love to know he's been funding his campaigns, selling counterfeit art. Gabriela was clearly tangled in an even bigger mess than I realized. It seems that somehow Sato had discovered the counterfeits and had blackmailed his way into the web of tonight's event. Not realizing Adrian was at its center. Gabriela was a fly caught between two spiders, and Gabriela was smarter than either man gave her credit for, and that gave her an advantage. If she could keep them pointing their fingers at one another, she might be able to slip away unnoticed. Suddenly, Berlin re-enters the gala hall, cutting Gabriela and Sato's argument short. Pink heart shape by ये emoji तो दिखा नहीं रहा. Anyways, while I know you will all be disappointed to part ways, our time together is finally coming to a close. Please ready yourselves for your exodus. We'll have further instructions for you soon. Okay. Chapter खत्म? नहीं. As the hostages begin to murmur, the air filling with a mixture of nervousness and relief, you and Nairobi turn to one another. Well, that was enlightening. Good thing I pulled you in here. Huh? I could tell by Nairobi's expression that she felt we'd uncovered something big. You should pull me into tiny rooms more often. Nairobi moves even closer, her lips almost brushing your cheek. I'll keep that in mind when we get out of here. Her mention of getting out of the museum brings you back to focus. We should get moving. Now that the vault is open, we should be out of here in no time. You and Nairobi step back into the hall just as Berlin calls over the radio. Seoul, my office. Now, we have a call to make. Okay. Denver is standing outside the door of the security office, his bored expression turning to relief when he sees you. अरे गलती से मैंने 2 बार क्लिक कर दिया. Anyways, hi. Is Berlin making you play guard dog? Denver rolls his eyes, shaking his head. Berlin kicked me out, said he was going to shoot me for real if he had to listen to me laugh one more time. Denver gestures to the door behind him. You gonna be alright in there? I'm sure you aren't looking forward to seeing Abarka again after our scuffle. Yeah, well, I'll be fine. I'm not going to let Adrian get the best of me. Denver's concern fades to a smile. I guess I better go help load the art then. Time to get the hell out of here. He takes off down the hallway, letting out a loud whoop as he goes, and you can't help but laugh before turning to the door. Inside Berlin's office, he and Adrian are waiting for you. Adrian gives you a taunting smile as you enter, a small cut above his eyebrow, the only proof of your altercation. How lovely to see you again. I hope your head isn't hurting too badly. Rage flowed through me as I took in Adrian's smug grin. Denver got some pretty impressive swings in from what I could see. Shame he didn't finish the job. Berlin chuckles as Adrian narrows his eyes. Careful, Joe. The threat in his tone was clear, and for a moment a wave of nerves threatened to overtake me. Had Adrian told Berlin about my past, about our connection? Now, I wasn't happy with Mr. Abarka's little escape attempt either, but he's agreed to do something for us in an attempt to smooth things over. Okay, let's see. What's that? He's going to confirm what the police believe they've already figured out. That Sarto and his mob friends are responsible for his evening's mishaps. Sorry, this evening's mishap maybe. Is that so? What's he getting in return? Berlin rolls his eyes. Don't you get tired of asking questions to which no one owes you an answer? It's simple math. Really, Mr. Abarka's distaste for Mr. Sato outweighs his distaste for us. And this way, he can also ensure that his own infractions will remain a secret from his foreign constituents. My blood boiled at the idea of Adrian walking away without any consequences, but the weight of my father's note in my pocket made me bite my tongue. So if you could please connect us with the police, we can get this evening over with and be home in time for breakfast. As Berlin looked at me expectantly, the phone on the table between us, I hoped he was right. I was ready for the night to be over, and if playing nice with Adrian was what it took, I could swallow my pride for a little longer. You quickly reach for the phone and connect to the police and the professor one final time. Berlin raises a finger to his lips as the line connects. An unnecessary reminder not to speak. Okay. Mr. Abarka, are you there? Are you alright? I'm fine, but things inside have escalated. I managed to evade the captors and I'm hiding in a secure location. Hey mummy. अरे यार कॉल आया करो 1 minute. हे भगवान आई sorry. Can you tell us anything about the robbers? Okay, okay. Do you know who they are, what they want? Adrian looks from you to Berlin, who gives him the slightest of nods. The leader is Philip Sato. This is a mob operation. Excited chatter breaks out over the speaker with Adrian's confirmation, but it's interrupted by the professor's voice. You'll pay for this, Abarka. No one comes for the mob and gets away with it. Berlin bites back a chuckle as the professor disconnects from the call, and you quickly follow suit before Adrian or the police can say more. An excellent performance, Mr. Abarka. Well done. He smiles as he stands, holstering his gun before sliding the chair beneath the desk. I do hope you don't get seasick. ओके ओके, एक चैप्टर ख़त्म। मुझे 1 मिनट दो। Okay. आज के लिए एक और चैप्टर करता है, बट थोड़ा को मैं कॉल कर रही हूँ यार। ओके चलो एक और चैप्टर आज के लिए। चलो सॉरी। Adrian looks uneasy as Berlin pulls him to his feet. You said I would remain here with the hostages when you made your escape. He did? I saw you. Okay, sorry. Far be it from me to agree with Adrian, but I wasn't aware he would be coming with us. Haven't you realized yet that certain decisions are above your pay grade? Berlin marks as he pulls Adrian into the hallway, motioning for you to follow. I'll take Mr. Abaika here to gather the rest of his friends. Go tell the others it's time to go. I'll meet you in the water tunnel soon. Okay. As the two men disappeared from sight, I realized I was out of time. Once I rejoined the rest of the team, I wouldn't be able to slip away again. If I wanted to retrieve the teapot, it had to be now. The teapot or the team? I knew I had to decide. And quickly. क्या करना है? टीपॉट पे जाओ या टीम पे? अभी तक तो टीम को सपोर्ट करता है वो. अब अगर वो गई टीपॉट के लिए तो पर वो आएगी तो उसके लिए है. क्या करना है? एक मिनट है. एक मिनट. ओके आई एम बैक. हे भगवान, क्या करना है? टीपॉट या फिर टीम? टीपॉट लेना है या छोड़ना है? क्या करूँ समझ नहीं आ रहा. पर इतनी देर तक टीपॉट के लिए भी इतना सब किया इतने टाइम से, तो टीपॉट लेना तो बनता है ना. दोनों कर सकती तो अच्छा होता. चलो टीपॉट पे चलते हैं. I had come to La Bella to reclaim my family's heirloom, and I wasn't living without it. Relief coated my veins as the teapot came back into view, sitting safely on its pedestal. You nestled the teapot carefully inside the tote bag, hoping it would be too conspicuous. After so many years of searching, it seemed almost unbelievable that the teapot was finally back in my possession. Triumphant, but it was not over yet. I had come to La Bella to take back what was mine, and I had succeeded. You wrap a protective arm around the teapot, its weight resting against the note still in your pocket, then hurry towards the water tunnel. The water tunnel is a well of activity as you load the counterfeit art into one door and its originals into another. You carefully tuck the teapot in among the originals while one is paying attention. Rio groans as he hoists a particularly large painting, carefully wrapped in protective paper onto the board. Remind me again why we aren't putting these guys to work. He motions to Adrian and Sato, who are seated among the counterfeits and other hostages. Sato scowls, but Adrian shows no signs of being anything but calm. Oh, yes, please, untie me so I can help you. Berlin chuckles as Sato shoots Rio a menacing grin. We want our guests to be comfortable for their little excursion, Rio. Huh. If you're trying to get a 5-star rating, I think that ship has sailed. मैं कुछ और सोच के इस like क्या okay ठीक है. Rio chuckles as Berlin narrows his eyes at you. That's enough chit chat from you. The boats are almost loaded. It's time to open the tunnel. I could feel Adrian's eyes on me as I moved towards the tunnel's access panel. Why hadn't he outed me? He didn't matter anymore. His time would come. I had the teapot, and that was more than enough. It was time to move on. Tap the access panel to approach it. Okay. You push Adrian from your mind as you reach the access panel. Denver is leaning on the wall beside it looking. पढ़ने से पहले मैंने click कर दिया. I still don't understand why I have to hide over here. What does it matter if Sato knows I am alive now? Well, it doesn't really. We need him calm. We don't need to give him any more of a reason to try and fight back. Denver rolls his eyes. The guy is tied up and about to be launched out to sea. I don't think he's much of a threat anymore. You shrug, turning your attention to the access panel. Let's do it. Better safe than sorry. Denver watches curiously as you open the security box and inspect the panel. Can you open it? I gave the system a once over, checking for any surprises before I began. Piece of cake. I'll have it open in no time. You tap the panel, bringing it to life, and begin your final hack. Okay, again. गलत था. ओके, ये सही है. एक्स्ट्रा हो गया. ओके, ये सही है. हो गया. I think I'll replay. अरे हाँ, रुको, मुझे फिर से रिप्ले करना पड़ेगा. दिस इज टू मच. हाँ, क्यों जल्दी करती हूँ मैं इतना? एक में इतना हो गया, बताओ. फिर से करना है रिप्ले. अरे यार. हेलो सहर्ष, वेलकम टू स्ट्रीम. कैसे हो? ये पता नहीं क्यों भौंक रहा है भाई. एक तो बार बार गलती कर रही हूँ मैं. हाँ, फिर से करना है मुझे रिप्ले। ओके आराम से अभी। हाँ ठीक है चलो इतना ही थक गई मैं। एक मिनट रुको। Okay, I'm back. Denver grins as the mechanical sound of the gate lifting fills the tunnel. Here we go. You hold your breath as the gate creeps open, half expecting the police to come storming in, but the water remains still. Excellent. He turns to you as the great है कि गेट है क्या बोलना चाहते हो? Finally reaches its peak. It's time for plan, Swordfish. You're up, Seal. I'd known that if things went wrong, a successful escape would be largely up to me. When the moment actually arrived, I was prepared. I knew that my skills were up to par and I could handle the task before me. कौन है भाई? क्यों इतना भौंक रही है? You confidently retrieve your remote device, extending its antenna. Here we go. Berlin turns to the hostages, who shift nervously as he spreads his arms. Thank you all for your cooperation this evening. He zeroes in on Sato. Well, most of you. Anyway, this will all be over for you soon. Tokyo, undo Mr. Sato's bonds. Berlin, Cairo, and Rio aim their guns at Sato while Tokyo quickly unties his hands. Enjoy prison. Before he can respond, he leaps from the boat and Berlin gives you a tight nod. With the push of a single button, the speedboat rose to life. Just as it reaches the entrance, Denver jumps from his hiding place, raising his middle finger towards Sato. So long as so. Sato's slack-jawed expression of shock is the last thing you see as the boat shoots out of the water tunnel. अच्छा वो देख लेता है. Was that really necessary? Denver shrugs as Berlin glares at him. Sorry, couldn't resist. That was totally worth seeing the look on his face. Suddenly, police sirens begin to blare and 3 speedboats with flashing lights take off after the decoy. Sorry. From your vantage point, you can just make out the half dozen hostages surrounded by counterfeit art.
I hope none of them get seasick. I smiled as I began to navigate the decoy boat. I'll be gentle. Who cares? We have bigger concerns. I'll be gentle. Don't worry. I'll make sure it's a smooth ride. As the police boats began to gain on our decoy, it was like I could hear the professor's voice leading me through the plan once more. The police will expect us to use the tunnel as a means of escape. The moment a boat enters Barcelona's waters, they'll be on top of it. However, once they realize priceless art is on board, they'll use caution to avoid damaging it. Your job, Seol, is to keep them chasing the wrong boat long enough for us to slip through their fingers. Okay, by the time they realize they're chasing a decoy, we'll be long gone. Okay. All I had to do was keep the police far enough away that they didn't realize they were chasing a boat full of hostages, not thieves. Okay. कौन सा ये घूम के ये स्ट्रेट घुमा के ले जाए. Continue. Damn, Seol, that was impressive as hell. They're never going to catch you. You glance at the remote signal blinking at 1 bar. The boat is going to be out of range soon, then there's nothing more I can do. Berlin nods. Then it's time to go. You all quickly pile into the remaining boat and Berlin takes the wheel. On board, Kaio moves to your side. Ready to get the hell out of here? Before you can respond, the boat shoots from the tunnel. You hold your breath, waiting for more police boats, but the coast is clear. Very nice. Sorry. As La Perla disappeared into the distance, I felt relieved. Despite all that had gone wrong, I had gotten what I came for, and we were safe. The professor's voice fills your ears as Barcelona fades from view. Well done, everyone. I'll see you at the Toledo house. Okay, we're done with another chapter. So, बाकी का नहीं saving error. What the hell? Saving error मतलब ये save नहीं हुआ. Let's see अभी chapter 20 आएगा क्या. अच्छा हाँ आ गया. तो चैप्टर 20 भी कर ले क्या, फिर बाकी का कल करते हैं. चलो चैप्टर 20 करते हैं. साथ साथ मैं थोड़ा खाना भी खा लेती हूँ, ला के रखा है. Okay. We reached the Toledo house just as the sun began to rise. Any exhaustion we felt was replaced by the exhilaration of escaping La Perla unfooted. Man, I wish we could have seen those cops' faces when they realized they were chasing a boat full of hostages. Denver makes his way from the house, multiple champagne bottles cradled in his arms. Do you think they've locked Sato up yet? I can't wait to see his face in mugshot. एक minute, guys. Okay. Who knows? I'll drink to the possibility. Denver grins as he opens one of the bottles, sending its cork flying through the air with a loud pop. Here's to finally getting the hell out of the museum. Sorry. He laughs out. He laughs loudly before taking. Hello, Azad. Welcome to the stream. Kaise ho? Before taking a swig, then begins to pass out the remaining bottles. As I watch the others celebrate, my thoughts drifted to the puzzle box in my pocket. The heist may have been over, but the rest of my story was still unfolding. एक मिनट रुको guys. पता नहीं कौन आया देखने दो.
Okay, the heist may have been unfolding, but the rest of my story was still unfolding. You quietly make your way to the house, leaving the others to their celebrations. In the privacy of your room, you shed your jumpsuit, then turn the puzzle box over in your hand, inspecting it. Sorry. What's your secret? My father had loved puzzles of any kind. Crosswords with my mother on Sundays, endless hours spent devising riddles to stump me. I reached for the note once more, certain there had to be a clue hidden within within his words. As you scan the note again, a single word jumps out at you. There's something about the word time. You trace the words with your finger as you read them loud. It may only be a matter of time. Time seems to be slipping. ये मुझे याद था इसलिए मैंने टाइम सेलेक्ट किया कि कुछ तो हो. The words conjure an image, a memory, and suddenly it's like a light bulb turns on in your brain. Dali. As the realization came, I felt as if I were being transported back in time, a memory of my father and I pushing everything else aside. My mother had been chosen to play at Carnegie Hall in New York City. Before our bags were even unpacked, my father rushed us to the Museum of Modern Art, stopping only when he reached a small painting that seemed incredibly strange to me. Salvador Dali's Persistence of Memory. He laughed when I asked why everything looked like it was melting and pointed to one of the dripping clocks. You won't understand this until you're older, but when you reach a certain age, time will feel like it has slipped through your fingers, melted away like these clocks. But our memories of that time, those persists, even when we long. Oh, sorry, 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. But okay, हो गया. Those persist even when we no longer have time. We will always have our memories. Okay. You fight back this
tale of tears that come with the memory, and turned to the puzzle box with fresh eyes. Cairo was right. It is a clock. Sorry. You squeeze your eyes shut, trying to picture the only clock in Dali's painting that has both hands visible. 10 till 7. Adrenaline courses through you as you move the delicate lines. You press them into place once they're aligned. Sorry. For a moment, nothing happens, but then the box springs open, revealing a small USB drive. Okay. As I pull the drive from the box, my father had gone to great lengths to keep whatever was on the drive safe. What secrets would I find when I opened it? Your stomach flutters nervously as you plug the USB into your laptop. A folder labeled AA pops up. Oh, Adrian, on the screen, and your heart begins to race as you open it. Your eyes go wide as you begin to click through the files. Emails between your father and Adrian discussing the counterfeits. A log detailing which pieces of art Adrian had already replicated and whom he had sold those replicas to. Even a grainy photo of a much younger Adrian standing between two identical paintings, looking smug. Sorry. Suddenly, a soft knock jolts you from your discovery. Head railing, you turn towards the open door to find the professor standing there, watching you curiously. Seoul, do you have a moment to talk? I lowered the screen on my laptop, not yet ready to share my findings with anyone. Talk? Or what can I do for you? He steps into the room quietly, shutting the door behind him. There are some things I would like to explain, things I think you may be interested to hear. When we first met, I told you that I decided to reach out to you when Rio traced your hack in La Perla's database. That wasn't entirely true. It wasn't. I knew there was no way Rio could have traced my hack. The professor smirks. No, that part was true. Rio was able to trace you. My omission was in the reasons I wanted you on the team. You're a brilliant hacker, yes, but so is Rio. The truth is, I knew who you were, your connection to Adrian, all of it. Okay. I knew that your reason for joining the team had everything to do with what you were searching for in his vault the day we met. And that your ulterior motives would likely create friction, if not outright chaos, over the course of the evening. It took a moment for the professor's words to sink in, but when they did, I felt confused. Why would you want friction, let alone chaos? The others believed La Bella was a precursor to our greater goal, a practice run at playing Robin Hood, where we would gain a vital puzzle piece needed for our greater plan. There is some truth to that, but at its core, La Bella was a test to see how the team dealt with unexpected surprises, what they would do if things went wrong, or they were forced to deviate from the plan. You were meant to be my fly in the ointment, but when Abarka showed up, it changed things for both of us. Of course it did. if you knew he would change things, why let him in? Because I saw an opportunity. The professor's voice drops, thick with anger. You aren't the only one who sees him for what he truly is, nor are you the only one whose childhood was disrupted by him. He lets out a slow breath of air. I'm going to tell you something the others don't know. I was a very sick child, in and out of hospitals for most of my youth. My father, God rest his soul, did everything he could to support our family. He took every odd job he came upon to keep up with the ever growing hospital bills, but it wasn't enough. It never is. Eventually, he turned to robbing banks. That explained how the professor's life of crime had begun. His father. That must have been hard on you and on him. 1 minute. For a long time, I didn't know what he was doing, but one day when I was feeling well, I followed him when he left the house. I had no way of knowing that was the day he would get caught, the day he would be killed. I watched as he was gunned down in front of the Spanish American bank. Anger drips from his words as he continues. It's the least composed you've ever seen him. So did Adrian Abarca. He was the presiding officer on the call. He had moved his way up through the police force, but his eyes were on a path into politics. My father was that path. Adrian plastered his face, his dead body, on every campaign pamphlet and rally sigh, claiming that Spain had a crime problem, and he was the man to clean it up. He made my father the face of Spain's so-called criminal underworld, while ignoring every issue that had led him to that life. I vowed that somehow, one day, I would make him pay. Wow. It could be worse unless you're going to tell me he was the one who pulled the trigger. No, but he gave the order. And when I learned he wanted to enter La Perla as a negotiator, I gave an order of my own. When Rio disconnected the security system, he also redirected the security camera footage to me. It was meant so that I could watch you all, observe how you truly worked as a team. At first, the fact that we would be taking from Adrian's vault was just a bonus, but when he decided to show up in person, a plan came to me. I knew Adrian was inside La Pela. If Rio routed the camera feeds to you, you must have footage of him attacking me. The professor shakes his head. Okay, wait, guys. I knew this would happen. Power gay and okay. The professor shakes his head. I do, but it isn't going to help us. Data on है मेरा, okay. The footage doesn't have sound. To an outside observer, it will appear as if Adrian is simply trying to subdue a criminal. If anything, it could bolster his support. Besides, we can't risk our identity being leaked to the public. No, Abarca's downfall will be one of his own making. His confidence. You were Adrian's second stop after he escaped Rio's care. First, he paid a visit to the restoration room. He flew in to quiet the rage when he realized his counterfeits had been taken. In fact, it's likely what prompted his attack on you. Really? I'm so fortunate I got to bear the brunt of his rage. The professor chuckles as you roll your eyes. You aren't the only one who has been put out by Adrian's temper. There is only the matter of Miss Conti. There's also the matter of Miss Conti. I admit if there is one mistake I made this evening, it was in under- underestimating her mettle. You may have noticed she wasn't on the boat with the other hostages. A ripple of surprise runs through you. In all the chaos, you hadn't noticed. Where was she? I'm not sure exactly how she did it. She was clever enough to find the camera's blind spots, but ultimately she made her way to the restoration room. She used Abarca's code to open the door instead of her own, then locked herself inside. You raise your eyebrows as realization doors, whatever. You think she's going to try and frame him? I think she's smart enough to know that her word against Adrian Epicus likely wouldn't be enough. He smiles and you realize his plan isn't over yet. But if this footage were to leak, I have a feeling she would be more than happy to corroborate Adrian's involvement. Don't you agree? Well, it was, even with all the trouble she caused us, I have to admit she has quit. Adrian is powerful, but if she's bold enough to implicate him in the counterfeiting scheme, it should tarnish that shiny reputation of his. That still sounds like he's getting off easy, perhaps, but it's the best I can offer with the evidence we have. Your thoughts turn to the drive still plugged in your laptop. I knew that the information my father left me was the final piece in connecting Adrian to the counterfeits. Combined with what the professor had, there was a possibility it might actually be enough to put Adrian away for a long time. But could you trust the professor with this, with my past? I think I do. Sorry. Sure. You turn your laptop towards the professor, the photo of Adrian still covering your screen. I might have something that can help. I. Yeah, दिमाग खराब है. Hut. Sorry. The professor eyes wide. Where did you get this? Was I ready to trust the professor with the whole truth? My father left it for me. I didn't know it until tonight, but he and Adrian were business partners, maybe even friends once before Adrian went crooked, whatever. He left me this so I could expose Adrian for what he truly is. You can tell the professor's mind is racing with questions. He moves closer, motioning to the screen. May I? You nod and he sits on the edge of the bed. His excitement is palpable as he opens one file after another. His expression is knowing as he turns to you. This is why you were at La Bella the day I met you, isn't it? Why you agreed to the you will exactly that I was the person I was going to come with. Right, priceless work was I said it's going for high very glad about safe. I was not happy to see the over and you other to all have lied to you. Me. People who this believe this be for this. So grateful to excuse black. I would mention laugh with the process will be will be different. What if you thought coming? I would again and to spend time with Mayo and was he's here to find my you oh to the I'm still you think it's else as you are kind of you can't there leaves people instead of lights. I just really really good. It's like to see satisfying about it. There's a big payout at the end for you, isn't there? Tokyo smirks and makes a zipping motion across her lips. Oh, so if you want to know that, you'll have to ask the professor. She glances towards the window where early morning is giving way to midday. Anyway, we should both get some rest. I just wanted to say goodbye. She stands checking for her profile in the mirror before heading towards the door. Be safe out there, yeah. Thanks. I will. I think I left most of the danger at La Perla, though. Tokyo chuckles knowingly. It's behind us now. She smiles over her shoulder as she moves through the door. Goodbye, Sio. Watching Tokyo go may be for the last time I felt. Tokyo go maybe for the last time I felt. Trouble seemed to always be at her heels, and I didn't want to be there when it finally caught up. Go to bed. Oh, sorry. As the morning stretches into the afternoon, exhaustion washes over you. The heist was finally over, and all that lay before me was my future, spread out like a blank canvas. I wasn't sure yet what brush I would see to paint it with. Watercolors would bring it. Sorry, I wasn't sure yet, but what brush I would use to paint it with watercolors would bring it to life, but I knew it would be beautiful. The Moroccan sun beats down on you, warming your skin and keeping away the chill from the cool ocean breeze. Beside you, Cairo lounges on a settee of his own. I still can't believe this is where we ended up. As a final gesture of goodwill, the professor had offered us his macaron. Somehow, as a final gesture of goodwill, the professor had offered us his Moroccan safe house, one of the many he owned around the world. It's beautiful. It was beautiful. So much of my life had been pain and chaos. Now that I'd finally stopped running, I never wanted to start again. You hum along to the song on the small portable radio beside you until it ends, and a newscaster's voice fills the air. Good afternoon, this is the World News Report. Today, disgraced Spanish politician Adrian Abarca was sentenced to 10 years in a close operation. Abarca was on trial for the illegal production and scale of counterfeit art, as well as using the illegal funds to bankroll his campaigns. Gabriela Conti, the former head of security at La Pela, Museo de Barcelona, was cleared of all charges in exchange for her testimony. She testified to Abarca's long history of producing and selling counterfeit art and provided documents linking him to almost 2 decades worth of illegal activity. The documents, along with footage of Abarca searching for the counterfeits during the attack on La Perla earlier this year, were enough for conviction. Abarca's second trial for mob-related activity, including the murder of one of the Spain's most prominent violinists, and her husband, is set for later this month. क्या कर रही हूँ मैं? Philip Sato, the mob member who allegedly organized the attack on La Perla alongside Abarca, is said to testify in exchange for a plea bargain. Hello, Myth, welcome to the stream. कैसे हो? Your heart is pounding as Cairo George drops. Remember me, of course. कौन आया भाई? You did it. You really did it. That scumbag is finally going to get what he deserves. I know. After all this time, he's finally been exposed for what he truly is. A brief commotion draws your attention back to the radio. What's that? Oh my. I'm sorry, but we are going to interrupt this story for some breaking news. It appears a group of highly trained criminals have gained control of Spain's Royal Mint, where they are holding dozens of people hostage. It can't be. They appear to be heavily armed and are wearing red jumpsuits and Salvador Dali masks. Your eyes go wild as Cairo lets out a misbehaving laugh. Holy shit, they are going to rob the mint. Wow. I guess they decided Rio didn't need anyone to back him up after all. Cairo chuckles and nudges over. He gestures to the expansive beach around you with a smile. I think we did pretty well for ourselves. You shut your eyes against the blazing sun, the sound of the waves calming your racing thoughts. When you open them, Cairo is smiling at you. I know that look. His eyes are bright with happiness as he gives you a teasing smile. So tell me, Seol, what's next? You chuckle at the code name unused for so many weeks now. Well, Cairo, we live happily ever after. You tell me. We've been focused on my plan for so long. It's your turn to decide what comes next. Cairo smiles as he shrugs. As long as we're together, I'm sure whatever comes next will be an adventure. Cairo's smile matches your own as you gaze out at the seemingly endless sea before you. My father always told me that life was a work of art. Every choice we made, even the tiniest decisions, added a brushstroke to our canvas, creating the picture of our lives. As I thought about everything that had happened in the last 6 months, everything that had happened in my life, I was certain of one thing. The painting of my life had only just begun and it was going to be beautiful. Okay, so we're done with another chapter. तो चलो आज के लिए इतना ही रखता है भाई. पता नहीं क्यों मुझे नींद बहुत आ रही है. एंड बस 15 मिनट है. करे किसी से पता नहीं क्या करे, वो क्यों भोग रहा है. ए हो गया ख़त्म. अरे बाप रे, चलो अच्छा है. तो कंप्लीट हो गया गाइस गेम. हाँ एनीवेज, मुझे पता नहीं क्यों बहुत नींद आ रही है. मिलते हैं कल के स्ट्रीम पे. बाय, गुड नाइट. चलो सी यू गाइस एंड थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग. जो भी आए, जिसने भी ज्वाइन किया, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग. मिलते हैं कल के स्ट्रीम पे. कल क्या करना है देखती हूँ, बताती हूँ. बाय बाय. मित आई मैं गलती से बंद कर दिया. गुड नाइट. हाँ क्योंकि मुझे नींद आ रही है. बाय अरविंद. ये कौन सा गेम है? ये मनी हाइस्ट है और नेटफ्लिक्स पे मिलता है ये गेम. एनीवेज चलो बाय, गुड नाइट, सी या. बाय. अरे